The activity in front of the Brooklyn Museum, not too far from our setting today here at the Barclays Center. Hi, everyone. Time to get into it. NBA action on 2K Sports. Tonight, it'll be the Boston Celtics going up against the Brooklyn Nets at Barclays Center. This is Kevin Harlan with Greg Anthony and Doris Burke. Also joining us from the sidelines, David Aldridge. DA, take it away.
Well, guys, Kemba Walker is a multiple-time All-Star. But from his first seasons in the league, stardom was not assured. Even he said, "I never saw myself playing at this level. There were times I didn't know if I even belonged in the NBA." I guess you could say I'm surprised. Now, Kevin, every player has those doubts at the beginning, but few overcome them the way Kemba has.
David, he's come a long way. Thank you. And now the opening lineup for Boston. They've got the bodyguard, Jay, out there with Jason Tatum. And it's the closer. And it's Blackman in at the 5 spot. And looking at the Nets, Cowboy is out there with Durant. Then there's Jay. Then there's Jay. And it's Irving at the 1 spot.
And when you think about Brad Stevens, he has one thing he cites quite often. The quote is, "Toughness is being able to physically and emotionally perform your task through any condition." And boy, when you think about his teams, they have embodied that for most of his tenure.
Now here's Durant. The pass to Jay. Back to Durant. Shot clock at 6. It's deflected. Left side, Tatum. And it's blocked. Irving looking for an opening. And there's a whistle. That goes on the bodyguard. That is his first foul of the game. And Doris, the Celtics seem like they lost a bit of that resiliency and some of that composure last season. How do you think they get that back?
I think, Kevin, it has to begin with their leaders. Those are the players you expect to set the tone with toughness and togetherness.
And the foul on the closer. That's his first foul. On defense, Boston. Outside, Irving. Passes it to Jay. Down to 5 on the shot clock. A shot by KD. No good.
Didn't hesitate for a second to get a hand up on that deep ball.
Well, tremendous effort, tremendous timing, the ability to alter shots on the perimeter. That was beautiful.
Here's the closer. Shoots the 3. That one's no good. 0-1 to begin the game. Ball's not loose. About a minute and a half through the first quarter. Irving with the bounce pass. Down low. It's good. He makes his first shot of the game.
I love that Kyrie Irving doesn't settle for something on the perimeter. He goes right to the cup.
Well, a lot of rough time for Irving in his final year with the Celtics. Opted out. And obviously Greg wanted a change.
And quickly zeroed in on Brooklyn as a destination. His time in Boston had clearly come to an end by the finale of last season. Now joins up with a new stacked team in Brooklyn.
Well, this is one of the best in the league at converting off contact. What body control by Kyrie Irving.
Right wing. Here's the closer. Guarded by KD. The closer. And that one hits back iron. For Brooklyn, they've gone 2 for 4 from the field so far today. Cowboy passes to Irving. Jay, guarded by Tatum. Back to Irving. 3-pointer. That's in, and he's now 3 for 3 and looking sharp.
Boy, Kyrie Irving shoots it with such extraordinary confidence, regardless of where he is on the court. This guy is one of the most dynamic scorers in the league.
And now, the first timeout call here for Boston.
And until their playoff run, the Brooklyn Nets weren't a team we thought of as a free agent destination. And Doris, you almost forget that they play in the biggest market in the country.
And Greg, who would have thought that in New York and Los Angeles, arguably the most competent franchises would be the Nets and the Clippers. These are two of the historically dilapidated teams no longer content to play second fiddle in those major markets.
A platoon swap here for Brooklyn. Thomas deciding where to go with it. It's Pierce on the wing. 6 to shoot. Again, the miss by the Celtics.
Well, terrific defense. They obviously respect his ability and just want to make it tough.
Jordan can't get it to go.
And the timing just not there on that attempted alley-oop.
Just a missed connection, and it happens. I'm sure they will go back to it if given the opportunity.
And so it's Brooklyn with it after Paul Pierce's score. Just under 3.5 minutes gone here in the first quarter. Allen passes to Jay. Allen trying to break free. Thomas with the block. And he makes no mistake on the slam dunk.
Yeah, a nice, strong finish on the inside.
But Greg, that's what he does. He's got the dunker mentality. Dinwiddie with it. He's been patient so far. Nothing on the scoreboard yet. Good D by Thomas. Tie game in Brooklyn. And we'll be back in just a moment with the start of the second quarter.
Ladies and gentlemen, dance team.
And if you're just tuning in, it's been a pretty even game through the first quarter. And guys, what stands out to you from the Nets in this one?
Well, you come in thinking they're going to settle for perimeter jump shots. Think again.
They've certainly made the commitment to pounding the basketball into the painted area, and boy, is it paying dividends.
And it's Walker with the ball, bringing it up for the Boston Celtics. Spencer Dinwiddie out there with Jay. Then it's Jordan. And there's Jared Allen. And it's G in at the 3, the small forward. That's the Nets 5 as we get into the second quarter. Rejected by Pierce. Pass to the Beast. Here's Walker. Of course, you've seen a lot of these big men come and go in this league. Who would you say right now is the most complete big man in the NBA?
Well, two guys come to my mind immediately, and that's Joel Embiid, who I think probably could be more efficient with his three-point shooting, but is still enough of a threat that you have to guard him out there. They enter the ball through him in the post, and he can be a dominant scorer. He can also put it on the deck. And then Anthony Davis, who you could say all of those attributes that Joel Embiid has, the Brow has as well. Those are two of the most complete, dominant two-way big men in today's game.
And they now lead as the free throw drops for him. One of the bigger names on the free agent market this past year, Kemba Walker.
And it didn't take long for him to land with Boston to replace Kyrie. Hornets made an attempt but offered well below Kemba's value. I think Kemba's going to be a great fit in Boston.
Mr. Moves checked in for the Nets. And so Walker nails both of them. Now, one of the bigger names in free agency this past summer was Kemba Walker. A lot of teams, Greg, looking at him.
And rightfully so, Kevin. With Kemba, a point guard who is in his prime. He's an impact player who can hit big shots and is one of the more underrated stars in our league.
Here's Brown. Spencer Dinwiddie picking up that last basket. Pass to Canner. The Celtics working the ball around now. And here's Brown. That's it 5. And that's good for 2. Brown's got the lead up to 2 now for Boston.
Boy, I love seeing Cantor distribute the basketball. If you're open, this guy will find you.
Mr. Moves passes to Dinwiddie. Got a piece of it, but they'll get another chance. Here's Jordan. Walker with the rebound.
You know, he made an easy shot so much harder, and it really cost him the bucket, guys.
Back to Canner. He kicks it to Thomas. pass to Walker. Fires the three. Rebounded by the Nets.
And close to making the defense pay for the lax coverage that time.
Allen dishes to Dinwiddie. Back to Allen. Clock at 6. Here's G. No good, and tight defense there bothered that shot. Here's T. The shot's good. Brown making the play.
I think Brown demonstrating he's got a great understanding of the game. He keeps his head moving, his eyes open so he can spot the open man.
And the first timeout called of the game for Brooklyn. And for Jaylen Brown, part of the challenge last season, especially with the return of Gordon Hayward, was meeting the high expectations, Greg, in a reduced role.
Competition for minutes, and then early on, he struggled. We all see the potential, but it's really about seizing the moment every time you're on the court.
Looking at who's out there now for the Nets. Jay's checked in for Jordan. Cowboy comes in for Jared Allen. Kevin Durant's checked in for G, and it's LeVert in for Dinwiddie. Brooklyn shooting their first free throw of the contest.
Yeah, last year, collectively, only 74% from the line.
The Nets had to be so judicious and so smart with every move they made because they did not have top draft selections. So you have to use cap space to acquire picks. They had to find sleepers in the draft. They had to find players who were probably undervalued and then develop those players. This is an organization that used every tool at their disposal.
And Doris, the Nets showed they could manufacture a rebuild.
Kevin, what the Nets did was not easy. But to me, it shows you exactly how critical quality front office personnel is to the success of an organization. And the Nets were on point throughout the process.
Shooting two.
And he can't get the first one. Well, at 6'7", Doris, Caris LeVert describing himself as a point/shooting guard.
Well, why not? Because his slashing ability, his blinding speed off the dribble is really what makes him problematic. His burst is special, and it doesn't matter if he's going left or right.
And he's good on the second. And before his scary foot dislocation in November of 2018, Caris LeVert enjoying a breakout season. Greg even garnering some most improved buzz around the NBA.
And fortunately, the injury not as bad as it looked initially. He's looking to continue that impressive trajectory.
Now here's Durant. He's gotten some minutes, but nothing on the board yet. And again, it's the Nets missing.
And the rebound battle split evenly thus far.
The bodyguard passes to Charles. And he could not get that one to go. Out of contact, and he'll go to the line for two.
And Kevin, last season there were a couple of glaring deficiencies for the Celtics. I thought they had a problem with shot selection. Too often I thought they settled for pull-up jumpers. They did not exploit their length to get into the paint, nor did they exploit their ability to get to the free throw line. And ultimately that really cost them.
And the first one breaks. Jay's checked in for Brooklyn. The Beast, he's checked in for the Celtics. Good on both.
This is about the last guy you want to send to the stripe right now. They keep fouling him, and he keeps making them.
There's 49 seconds left now here in the second. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line.
And with the offense getting right to the rim, at least they saved the layup.
The Nets have gone 2 for 3 at the foul line in this game.
At the line for 2.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
And he knocks down the first one.
Yeah, in this quarter, they've had the right approach, driving and drawing, initiating contact, create opportunities, get to the line.
That one is no good. Celtics leading by 3.
And a 2-for-1 is there for them if they want it.
Well, you're trying to end the quarter the right way. It takes awareness and it takes discipline.
Now here's LeVert. This is it to Jay. And here in the second quarter of action as we approach 4 minutes played. Pass to Cowboy. Shot clock at 6. It's a mark, and the layup good by LeVert.
Well, this is yet another example of the growth of Caris LeVert. You almost have to have that floater game in your arsenal.
Here's Charles. Unbelievable!
Can't do it much better than that right before the clock expires.
What a way to seize momentum. Can it carry over into the next quarter? Beautifully done.
And some good action through the first 2 quarters as we reach halftime. Celtics lead by 4. And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thanks, Kevin. Here with Brad Stevens. Coach, what did you think of your team's energy in the first half?
I think the energy's fine. I thought we did look a little gassed at the end of that first stint for some of our starters, but I thought for the most part it was good.
Thanks very much, Coach. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks, David. And we'll be back shortly following halftime to get the third quarter underway.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey again, everybody. I'm Ernie Johnson. Shaq is here. Kenny's here. You're watching the NBA Halftime Show on 2K Sports. Boston found themselves in a close game in the first. Their largest deficit of the period was just 4 points. They were right there within shouting distance the entire time. They had a slight edge on the scoreboard in the second quarter, but only by the slimmest of margins. Kenny, what's your take on Boston so far?
Well, there was one pleasant surprise, and that was the bench. They gave them a big lift. Those guys came into the game, they did all the dirty work, and they scored baskets.
And over to the big fella, your thoughts on the Nets?
Reminds me of me at the free throw line. They had a rough half of shooting, under 35%. Some of that was great defense, but a lot of it was poor shot selection. They've got to rebound and get guys up to a higher quality. The shooters need to go out and execute. Man, come on.
And that should do it. With the second half about to begin, let's send you back to Kevin Harlan. Go back. Kevin Harlan. Go.
And as we get into this third quarter, as we've seen so far, neither team able to create much separation on the scoreboard yet. Without question, Jay displaying his skills today.
Man, he's been running wild on them through that first half. Just absolute dynamite on offense.
Boy, he has been shouldering the load. Aggressive, skilled, talented, and thus far unstoppable.
And we've got second half action for you. Thus far, a pretty evenly contested game.
And the Celtics last season mourning the passing of the great John Havlicek.
No, Greg, he spent his entire career with the Celtics. He won 8 titles along the way. He was known as one of the great competitors and a class individual. His legacy legacy undoubtedly will live on.
Our second half of basketball, and presented by Gatorade. Let's see who's all fueled up and on the floor to start the third. On the floor for Boston, they've got Jason Tatum. The closer is out there with the bodyguard. Then there's Jay, and it's Blackman in at the pivot spot. Manning. Oh, my goodness! What a play!
How about the quick jump from Kevin Durant? He was impressive on that one.
Jay, the pass to Tatum. The Celtics working the ball around now. Takes the alley-oop pass and dunks it down.
And you could see him give a little nod and then just burst to the rim for the alley-oop slam.
A pair of teammates, Greg, with a terrific feel for each other. Pass to KD. Yes, and it's Irving picking up the assist. And it's 7 points for KD.
That makes 3 in a row to start the second half.
Tatum passes to Blackman. Third quarter of basketball, about a minute and a half in. Charles. And a great job by the D contesting that shot and forcing the miss.
All right, time now to pick it up. You're 1 for 4, and you certainly don't want to give your opponent momentum. Brilliant second half start. 4 for 4 from the field. Can't ask for any better.
Time called here. The Celtics decide to talk it over. If you were coaching, Doris, and you could run your offense through any center in the game, and let's take guys that are playing right now because they can go back in history. The names are endless. Who would you run your offense through at that position?
Probably a guy that the casual NBA fan is not as knowledgeable about as they should be, Kevin, and that's Nikola Jokic. This is a young, early 20-year-old who may be the best passer out of the post position that we've seen in a generation. Jokic is a guy who can handle the ball from three-point territory. He can take it off the window and initiate your offense. They run him like a point center, and it's appropriate because he's unselfish and gifted as a passer.
Gifted, great word to use, you're right. Checked in for Jay. G comes in for Kevin Durant. Dinwiddie's checked in for Jay. And Mr. Moves subbed in for Irving. Here's Walker. Out of hand on it to the wing right side. And he overshot that one, missing. That's leading by 3. And we're just about 2 minutes into the second half now. Banked in off the glass.
Well, you like to see Jared Allen play to his strength. Just terrific at cashing in on the interior. One of the things I love about the Brooklyn Nets is the culture that's being created with this franchise. They are punching above their weight. There's no quit in this team. There is so much to like.
I tell you what, it's almost like stealing to watch how he plays the game from this seat.
Dinwiddie against Brown. Dinwiddie right side. Here's Mr. Moves. Still looking for his first bucket in this one. And Doris, you talk about the resilience of this Nets team. How about their 25-point fourth quarter comeback last season against Sacramento?
Kev, they become only the 4th team to overcome that big a deficit in the shot clock era. This Nets team is not invincible, but I promise you they're going to make you work for every single thing you get.
Cowboy, the shot, no good.
And his defense so valuable. Not many can bother that shot at the rim.
Boy, you see the effort, you see the range. This guy prides himself in his ability to shut you down.
Here's Mr. Moves, guarded by Walker, and it's out of bounds. The Celtics will take it the other way. So for the Nets, Karis LeVert comes in for Spencer Dinwiddie, and Jay subbed in for Mr. Moves. And a change for the Celtics. The Beast, he's checked in for the bodyguard. Now the pass to T. Now here's Walker. 24 seconds left in the third quarter of the game. And the shot goes in.
You got to shadow Walker. His mid-range game is on point.
The Nets with the lead.
I always like to hold for the last shot right here.
Well, that's great execution if you can do that, because it takes any chance at momentum away from your opponent.
Now LeVert. From deep. And he got that one up in time, but doesn't go in.
Well, to me, that's the wingspan of Jaylen Brown bothering shooters. This guy gets right in their space and throws them off balance.
It's still anybody's game as we've reached the end of 3. It's the Nets up 1. And do not go away, as we'll be back in just a few moments with the start of our fourth quarter coming up next. And with these teams locked in a very close contest, this fourth quarter promises to be a good one. And the Nets with possession here. It's a one-point game. Jay out there with LeVert, and it's Durant. Then it's G, and it's J, and it's the 5. So that's the lineup for Brooklyn.
Well, you can really see the playmaking evolving. When Karis LeVert is hitting wide-open teammates, it shows how special he can be.
From the baseline. The shot that time, not on target. And it's the Nets taking it the other way to the left wing. Here's Jay. Pass to G. Thomas with the steal. Another shot. And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line.
You know what? Very close to a three-point play right there.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
That's good from Thomas. Jay's checked in for G. And a change for the Celtics. Tatum's checked in. Free throw is good for Thomas.
And you look at the cast-offs that have found success in Brooklyn, Doris, a great part of the Nets story.
And I think what the players appreciate is the team that gave them their first real shot to play significant minutes. That buy-in and urge to prove themselves are part of what makes their culture special. A nice defensive play, alter the shot, then stay right there to clean up the glass.
Pass to the closer to take the lead. Sinks the triple. And the Celtics lead by 2.
Such a clutch shooter. This guy lives for these kinds of moments and delivers.
Jay, the pass to Jay. No block shot. It's deflected. And we've made our way through just over a minute and a half in this fourth quarter. There's the lob to the hoop. Throws down the alley-oop slam.
And you can see him give a little nod and then just burst to the rim for the alley-oop slam.
A pair of teammates, Greg, with a terrific feel for each other. And there's the call on Durant. That's foul number 2 for him. Cowboys checked in for the Nets. Irving comes in for Jay. Bodyguards checked in for the Celtics. We're about 2 minutes into the fourth quarter in this one. This ball movement by Boston. Left side, Tatum. No coverage that time.
Well, Jason Tatum in a big moment. He is unafraid.
And here's Irving. From deep three-point range, from beyond the arc, and then some. Rebounded by the Nets. Cowboys got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. Kicks it to Irving. Pass to Durant. A fadeaway off the left rim and out.
And this is a shot he can definitely make, and the defense not a factor at all.
That one doesn't go.
And the timing just not there on that attempted alley-oop.
Just a missed connection, and it happens. I'm sure they will go back to it if given the opportunity.
And they'll keep possession. Nails the triple.
And you can't get a bigger bucket than that.
I'll tell you, it takes confidence to pull the trigger in that situation. You love guys who relish the moment.
Now timeout called by Boston. They're behind by 4. There's 47 seconds left to play in the final quarter. Jordan player of the game, Cowboy.
And I'll tell you what, he's worked very hard to get himself in good position throughout the course of this game. And that comes across in his shooting percentage. He's hit over half his shots from the field. And that's not because he got high as much as it's because of the effort he put in to get himself open.
He gets a chance now to catch up with the 4th member of our crew, Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Hey, guys. Well, I was able to listen in on what Brad Stevens was talking about with his players. He told them, look, guys, we're running out of time. If we're going to make a move, it's got to be now. Are you guys ready to make a move? They all nodded, and he said, then go take it. Irving from long range.
They get it back. It's in!
How about the finesse there? Nice little gentle touch on the board.
And you know, when you have that gentle touch, those chip-ins are easy to come by. Now a timeout called by Boston. They trail by 4. 29 seconds left here in the 4th quarter. Seconds left in the 4th quarter. Powered down as the whistle blows. A 3-point play chance.
Well, you can tell there's a team-first mentality with the young gun Jason Tatum working to find the open teammate. Nice.
So it's Irving with it, bringing it up for Brooklyn. They lead by 1. It's a 4-second differential between the shot clock and game clock. Five to shoot. The Nets need to get a shot off here. Gets the 3 to fall.
Relentless in their approach, even with the game firmly in hand.
This is a textbook example of playing the possession and not the score. This team is doing a great job continuing to execute.
And so it's Brooklyn who scrapes by with the win. They didn't make it easy on themselves or their fans, but in the end, everyone's satisfied.
I mean, there were some times that momentum shifted, and especially early on, but let's give this group a lot of credit for that stick-to-itiveness in terms of finishing out and executing that game plan.
It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thanks very much, Kyrie. Nice win tonight. What was your thought process coming into the game?
I was just going out there trying to compete on every play, trying to play as much defense as possible. Just sticking to our game plan. We had a game plan going in and we executed.
Got it done at both ends of the floor, Kyrie. Thanks very much. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David. Great job. Thanks so much. Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Have a great evening.